Well, who am I? Well, my name is Leonardo Butler, um, but who I am, I'm more of a servant than anything. Servant, worker bee, meaning I help people with their vision. Whatever part I can play, I help them in their vision. You know, there are a lot of people out there who really have the charisma to get out there and do a thing and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And so if God brings me across their path and he allows me to actually do my part in whatever their dream is, or if I can help them with their dream or whatever their vision is, I do that. That's what I mean when I say I'm like a servant. I see that people need help to do certain things, and if I can help them, I help them. And so um, I don't necessarily have visions or a vision for anything. It's more like, like when I said people will say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The way I approach that is this: God, can I do this? Can I do that? It is your will for me to do this. Is it for me to be that? Or is it for me to be this? Or can I have that? And usually he'll let me know yay or nay. You know, sometimes he won't even answer it, and that to me that means either wait or no for now. But I'm a servant. That's the kind of attitude I have. That's the kind of personality I am. And when I realize that I can't help a person who has a vision to go in a certain direction, I tell them right off the bat, I can't help you with that. I can't help you with that. Sometimes their vision collides with where I see God taking me to do whatever or help somebody else. And so I step away. So I'm a servant at that point. Second of all, I'm a believer. So I'm a servant and a believer. I'm a believer because I I don't know anything. I believe that God has taken away our sins. I believe that he is the one and only true God. I believe all these things. I believe God won't lie to us. I believe God is taking care of us. I believe God has been taking care of us. I'm a believer. People will say, aren't you a Christian? Well, you can call me that. You can call me that, but I'm a believer of God. Whatever he says, I believe it. Even though I might not understand it, I might not know it, I believe it. And so me being a believer keeps me grounded from thinking I know everything. Because as a believer, you don't know anything as a believer. He told you to come as a child to him. And what do children believe? Everything. They don't really know anything. They just believe it. They believe you're going to feed them. They believe you're going to protect them. They believe that you're going to love them even though they might act up. They believe all this stuff. Believer. Also a pastor. I just started pastoring. It'll be 3 years this April. 3 years. Got a nice group of people. And I always tell people, listen, don't despise small things. I don't expect God to send 2 or 3,000 people, 400 or 500 people to our church. I've only been doing this going on 3 years. And during this 3 years, I'm maintaining what has been. And so I can't make sweeping changes because sometimes it's not time for a sweeping change. Sometimes God just, has us in a holding pattern. Just because you're a preacher don't mean you're going to just draw people. No. You're a preacher and you're sent when he sends you. You're just waiting. You're in the game, but you're on the sidelines. You're waiting for him to send you in. If he sends you in, great. If he didn't send you in, that's still fine. You're still saved. You're still a preacher on the sideline. And so I don't expect God to send 4,000 or 5,000 people to our church. Everything we have, he's given us, and I know he's given it to us for us to even have our own building, then we don't, you know, have to worry about leaving the building. I mean, unless he wants us to leave, then we'll leave. But for the most part, we don't have to worry about that. God has already given us what we need in a building. And trust me, I always talk about us having 12 people, but it's really right around 40 or 50 people. And for us to have that many people and have the size of building that we have is unbelievable, unreal. And so I'm a preacher, pastor, servant, believer. He's been good to us over the years, and I'm praying that he's going to continue to be good. Now, listen, if he doesn't be good to us anymore after today, he's been good long enough. He's done enough for us. But I'm believing him for his protection all the time. All the time. So, servant, believer, pastor, preacher, saved. Well, other thing is a musician. Now, as a musician, I'm not the greatest musician at all. I don't worry about songs. I can learn songs, but I really enjoy studio recording. I love recording. I love recording musicians. I love recording singers, people who have a vision to sing or write songs or produce or whatever. I love doing that. I love recording them. I love mixing. I love mastering. Especially believers. I mean, I mix and master everything, all genres of music. But for people who are believers and they need somebody they can trust to record their information or record their song and present it the way they want it presented, that's me. I love that. I love that. I don't want to go and change anything. I want the presentation to be the best. And I want the artist or the writer or the producer, I want them to be able to say, hey, this is what I have envisioned. This is what I want to do. And I'll sit there, okay, let's record it the way you want it. And then once we get it down, then we're able to decipher, should we go left or right, up or down? Was this too much? Was that not enough? Do we need to add something else? Musician, recording. I love it. If there's everything, I do love that. I love doing that. And I'm still a servant in that. I do what they tell me to do. I record how they want it. I just make sure the source is right. Make sure the source is right, and you won't have to worry about too much else. As long as nothing's distorted and tore up, it'll be good. And so I love that. Servant, believer, pastor, teacher, musician, recording engineer. That's me. I've helped a lot, and a lot of the awards I've gotten were just because I was in the room or a part of what was going on. I don't go around telling people who I work with and who I work for and all of that stuff. I don't bring their names up because people change over time, and so I don't want to have to explain in this cancel culture thing. I'm not trying to hear it, but yeah, I enjoy whatever the talent God gives me. I make it available to other people. That's me. Sure, I'm a husband and a father. Whatever I feel hindered me as a child, I make sure that don't happen to him. Whatever I felt was nerve-wracking as a kid, I make sure that don't happen to him. What I see other women going through in life, I make sure my wife don't go through that. She's my wife. She don't go through that. He's my son. He don't go through that. Even if I have to tear myself down for them to have what they are supposed to have and to feel the way they're supposed to feel. Nobody deserves to feel bad. And so I keep myself from making people feel bad. At least I try to anyway. Sometimes you're just not successful in that. But servant, believer, pastor, teacher, musician, husband, father. I'm generally an all-around good dude. I am. If we're friends, we're friends. You might get on my nerves, I might get on your nerves, but I don't hold it against you. Why? Because we're friends. Now, here's one. If we get upset with each other, we are friends for life. I don't care what you say and what you do. We are friends for life. If we get upset with each other, not fighting or nothing like that, but we just get upset with each other. We're friends for life. Friends for life. That's how we are. I'm doing this video because a lot of people don't know me. And so, sure, I can do the different social media videos and all that. I'm really not into that. I would need somebody to help me with all of that. But I'm really not into all the social media how-to-dos and postings and all. I post sometimes, but for the most part, I post when God gives me something to say. Or if somebody's talking about engineering or recording and they're talking against Pro Tools. I don't play that. You don't talk against Pro Tools. No, I'm just kidding. If Pro Tools go wrong, they go wrong. But they've been all right with me all these years. They've helped me be that musician, recording engineer. And I really never wanted to be an engineer. I was always just trying to do some songs. I like recording, little songs or little things in my basement. I always had a drum set. I had a little organ and some keyboard stuff. I would just sit there and record on cassette tapes and everything. But then when I became older, I began to write songs. And so when I would write the songs, yeah, people would record them, but for some reason, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. It didn't sound the way I wanted it to sound. And so I asked God to show me how to do it. And that's what he did. I opened up Pro Tools. He said, do this, turn that knob, overdrive that. That's how you get that sound. Pull that down. That's how you get this sound. Change this. That's how that sounds this way. Compress that. This is why it sounds this way. And so since then, he's been making me an engineer. And I love it. The older I get, the less I have to use to make things sound good. The less I have to use. I've noticed within this last few years that I use a lot less EQ. I EQ, but I don't have to use as much or more. Here's a better way of saying it. I know when to EQ. Everything don't have to be EQ. Some things just stay the way they are. But after you get to a certain level in the mix, you might realize, oh, wait a minute. Maybe if I do this, that'll clear this up, or that might keep that in a certain domain or a certain arena in the sound area or the sound spectrum. It's certain things like that. But again, as I'm telling you, it's not me. It's not me. Anything that I do, anything that I'm able to do, God has allowed me to do it. I don't even want to be able to tell you that it was me. I don't want to wish to tell you it was me. It wasn't. It's not me at all. He puts me in a room with certain people. He puts me in a room with certain companies. And a lot of times I don't even know that he's doing it. I don't even know he's doing it, but he lets me be there. He lets me help. I remember the first, what was it? Access Hollywood. They were looking for some music for their show. And I'm like, man, that'd be nice to try. I'd never tried nothing like that. I said, well, let me get I got Machine or Machina, whatever it is, Native Instruments. I pulled that up. I didn't know how to operate the drum machine, but because I just wanted to try it. Oh man, let's try it. Oh, okay, cool. Loop that, loop this, that, and sent it in. I'm thinking, they're gonna say, yeah, no. I think they took about 20 songs of mine, 20 of them. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. They just sent me an email. Hey, we're using this. We got this on, this, that on. We got this, that, and on. I said, wow. Again, God allowed me to be places that I'm just learning stuff, and He lets me be in those places. People always say, hey, man, there's one gentleman told me, man, you really need to promote yourself, man, and let people know that you're out there and that you're. I said, brother, wherever God wants me to be, that's where He'll put me. If He wants me to help people, I will help. I'm not in any hurry. I got enough to do. I'm not in any hurry. If people want me to help them, God will make arrangements for me to be there to be able to help them. If I can help them, I can help them. Great. But again, servant, believer, pastor, teacher, husband, father, musician, recording engineer. That's me. Again, I do these things because He puts me in a room with these people. He allows me to do them. Not because I'm so good. I don't think I'm good at all. He allows me to be where I am. And I'm thankful for that. There are a lot of people who are scratching and clawing to be top number one and everything. And I've been around top number one, and I didn't really see it as top number one. I just do what I did. And I'm sitting there going, man, these people hired me to do this work. I mean, I kind of understand how certain things go and how certain things work. But while I was in it, I really didn't know. And I'm listening back now to the stuff that I did for them. And I'm going, oh, I would have changed this down. According to my mindset now, I would have changed this, that, and the other. But I didn't know I didn't know what I was doing. Just like now, I never know what I'm doing. I just ask God to help me. Matter of fact, when I record a track, I thank you, Lord, that I'm able to actually record the track and not have to pay somebody to record it for me or to go to a large studio to do that. Yeah, I've had large studios and large or popular engineers to say things like this to me. Where did you record that? Did you record that in LA or New York? I'm like, bro, out Columbus, Ohio, at the church in a closet where they kept all the Easter costumes and beards and hats. It just made the room, they try to treat the room to make it sound quiet so it'll sound good when you record it. The room was already sounding good. So I just put a mic up and do the recording, had the people fly in from wherever they're coming from, come in and fly in and record them right there. Either in the office or in the church. Either way, I mean, they never believed that it was sounding like that coming out of that office. They wouldn't believe that. But that's what happens when God is with you, when God is helping you. When God is with you and God is helping you, man, you go places and you don't even know you there, and you're doing the best work that you can do. But to other people, they're like, where'd you come from? Yeah. I do website. I have a website where people can get in contact with me if they want me to mix or master their stuff for them. And I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of free stuff for people just because I knew they needed the help. Because I know God has already blessed me enough as a servant, a believer, pastor, preacher, husband, father, musician. Just a servant. That's just, certain people have a service personality. Now, I'm not a pushover. I'll tell you the truth if you ask me. If you want me to tell you the truth, I'll tell you that. Because before I tell you the truth, I'm going to ask you, do you really want me to tell you the truth? Are you sure that you want me to tell you the truth? And then based on your answer, I'll tell it to you. But I just try to give people information that they can use, stuff that they can use today, not that they got to wait on. They need help display. I do it today. Let's do it today. Oh, I need this, that, and that. Let's do it today. Let's do it today. You know, you need to change your life. Let's do it today. You need to become a believer. Let's do it today. Let's change today. Don't waste time. Now, maybe you can't be me. Maybe you're a visionary, a preacher, or a visionary and a member of a church, and you're a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, or something like, you know. All I can tell you is be yourself. Don't ever change to be somebody else. Be who you are, and then let God put you where he wants you. That's me my whole life. Wherever I am, God put me there. It's not because I did any great thing. He's always put people in my life to help me. And so, even you can help me. It's up to you. You can help me. However God puts it on your heart to help me, it's up to you. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about help. Whatever God has put on you or given you to help me with, or he's given me to help you with, let's do it. Let's do it. But don't change who you are so that you can be friends with me. Don't change who you are so that you can be friends with a certain other person. Just let God lead you and you be who you're supposed to be. That way you'll always be right. No matter what anybody says, you'll always be right. Well, signing off. But that's me. Servant, believer, pastor, teacher, preacher, whatever you want to call it. Husband, father, musician, servant. Those are all servant positions. Probably didn't realize that till now. All of that is servant position. You're always doing what somebody's needing you to do, as opposed to you telling somebody what you need them to do, or micromanaging people to do what you want them to do, and hounding them and stand on their back until they do it and making them feel bad until they do. No, that's not me. I'm a servant. Willingly do what needs to be done. That's me. And I'm consistent. Ask anybody who knows me. If I told you no in 1980, the answer is still no. In 2025. Trust me. But hey, whatever you do in life, just remain yourself and do what you're supposed to do. And do a video like this, lining out who you are. You might find out some different things about yourself, like I did today. Well, again, signing off.